and welcome back to Creatively Montessori. Today I'm going to show you one of my winter practical life activities. This one I love to do with my toddler age children. I have been a Montessori lead guide for many years. I'm infant, toddler, American Montessori Society trained and certified, as well as early childhood, lower elementary and upper elementary. This is also a completely appropriate material for the primary classroom or 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. So this is a tray that I found at a thrift store. Isn't he adorable? I have a plastic bowl that I got at the Dollar Tree. I have cotton balls. You could also use pom-poms, or you could even use small wadded up pieces of paper or little, I mean, there are just so many things that you could use for this medium. And then I have a glass jar that I think it was actually a sauerkraut jar, but it's just a glass jar that I cleaned, and it's a fairly good size. And then I just used a Sharpie to do the eyes. You could do buttons if you wanted. There are lots of different things you can do. And then the carrot nose, which I think is adorable, is actually one pipe cleaner or Chanel stem that I wrapped on itself to look like a carrot nose. And then I used a glue dot to stick it on. I didn't worry about the mouth. And so the idea is that it's just a glass that we're going to use the tongs to put these in. If I were doing this with toddlers, I probably wouldn't include the tongs, and it would just be grasping work. They're using the pincer grasp, which is their two pointer finger, index finger with their thumb, pointer grasp, pincer grasp, excuse me. If you had a very young child, they might grab them with their whole hand. That's called the mitten grasp. And again, in the toddler environment, that would be absolutely fine. They're going to move all of these from the left to the right. I have a lot of them in here, and then they can take it out. Their hand is small enough. I'm going to pour it out because my hand's a bit bigger. But I probably would not have this many cotton balls in here, especially for the toddler classroom. I probably would have about 10 in here. My toddlers are very good about not putting material in their mouth, and so I feel comfortable having this in my classroom. If you have toddlers that they put things in their mouth, I wouldn't necessarily want to use cotton balls, so you will have to find a different medium. You could also make them a little bit larger. The other thing that you could try, if you have toddlers that you maybe just because you want a different medium, or you think, well, they're going to put it in their mouth, so I want something edible, you could do fully popped popcorn. I think that would look super cute to be a finished snowman. In the primary environment, I would use the tongs. And these are tongs, they have a little glitter on them, that I actually am pretty sure I got at the Dollar Tree. I've had them for a long time, and I think that they were out during the holiday season. I think that's why they're not even glittered. It's just, that's what they used to hold it. But I think they were used for like an hors d'oeuvre tray. And so when you do tonging work, you show them how to hold it just like your pencil. So these two fingers go into your palm, and these you're going to use to squeeze it together. So you're using this like a bird's beak. The reason you're doing this is that you want the child to be in preparation for writing with their hand. And so you're increasing this muscle and that technique anytime you're doing practical life work. It's also why we have the container of, well, you could also use large marshmallows. That would be fun. This container of medium, you're going to pick one up and then drop it. And so that takes skill. Not all young 3-year-olds can do this. But we go from left to right because that is for pre-reading and pre-writing. We are indirectly preparing them for pre-reading and pre-writing. When I present this material in the toddler room, there aren't formal presentations. So in the toddler environment, the children would just take it off the shelf and they would do it on a table, and they would kind of explore. I might go over if I saw that they weren't sure what to do with it and just sit down and show them, but there's not a formal lesson presentation. In the primary classroom, there are formal lesson presentations, and so I would take this to the table and I would show them how to do the material. During a primary or early childhood presentation, there is no speaking. You don't speak other than to say the name of the lesson. The point is that you want them to be concentrating on what you're doing. I'm talking to you because otherwise you might be very bored with the video. But that's, again, part of it is that you're not talking the whole time. You're not talking incessantly. Oh, let's count the cotton balls as we put them in. Like, You just want to concentrate on the one thing you're doing. And this one thing you're doing is working on the child's sense of concentration, their fine motor skills, indirectly preparing them, like I said, for reading, writing. Oh, that was good. I got all three at once. And then the child could take them out. If they were going to take them back out, I would turn it so that they are, again, taking them out, going left to right. Depending on your tongs, my tongs probably will fit in there very well, but if you have bigger tongs, this part might be hard. So the other alternative would be to pour them out, which again for cotton balls doesn't work very well, or just for them to take them out with their hand. When we are setting up material on the, sorry, I hit the camera, I didn't mean to be shaky like that. When we are setting up material on the tray, here is how you decide to do it. So think about the pieces you have, and you want to think about what is the first thing that you need. Well, the first thing you're going to actually touch once you have the tray on your table is actually your tongs. So they would typically go at the top of the tray. Remember, top down, left to right. So they'd go at the top of the tray. Then the next thing they would need are the medium, the snowballs, the marshmallows, whatever you use. And then on the right-hand side, you would have this. So typically this is how it would be set up. And if you've watched my other spooning videos, that's how they are set up. Because this is tall, I do not put the tongs up here because it's tall, and I think it's a little bit more challenging for a child who's sitting down to grab it from up here. I do actually leave it here. So they're picking it up and then they're doing the medium. So this is, but either one would be acceptable. You just need to know in your head why you're doing it that way and kind of know what your rationale is and what you're doing. This is tonguing work that I use in either a toddler environment with no tongs, and so then it would just be grasping work, or tonguing work that I would use in a primary classroom for my winter unit or something that I would have out in the month of January. I hope that you liked it enough that you'll subscribe to Creatively Montessori. If you hit the subscribe button and then the bell, you will get notified anytime I upload a new video. I try and do a new lesson presentation, book recommendation, and or product review several times a week, if not on a daily basis. So I hope to see you soon, and I hope you enjoyed the lesson.